What's going on, Nation? Back with my boy Thunder Dan, breaking down what's actually going to be a decent sized slate tomorrow. It's going to be like our second 10 game or 8 game plus slate in the last couple of weeks. So I'm actually excited for a little bit of bigger slate.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Dan, what are your general thoughts so far? Looking at the slate, what do you see?
Well, it's good to see you, Steve. You just want to say that. Glad we're back on here. And I mean, this is like the big. I looked at the schedule for the week, and this is the last big slate, NBA wise. It's like 10 games tonight, and then there's a couple small slates until baseball starts. So I'm trying to go pretty hard tomorrow on some basketball. You and I were just talking pre-show a little bit. Like, there are some awesome games for fantasy purposes here on the slate. There's just like 3 or 4 games that are just amazing, and it'd be hard not to really focus on some of these games. Like, obviously we got Houston and Milwaukee. That's a 227 total. Harden and Giannis, 2 playoff teams there, only a 4-point spread. Looking hard at the Clippers and T-Wolves, 230 total. Clippers 2.5 favorites. We got Cat and maybe like a Lou Will or like Montrez in that game. We have the Hawks Pelicans. It's a 240 total and only a 1-point spread. And we both know those teams play fast and don't play a lot of D. And then the last game I'm looking at is the late night hammer. We got the Wizards at the Lakers, 233 total, and Lakers 2-point favorites. And then what's a national TV game too. So, I mean, those 4 games right off the top, man, just jump off the page in terms of just being kind of awesome fantasy type potential games.
Yeah, I think you said it best too. Like, with a 10 game slate, one of the best ways to go about it is kind of just crossing games off. And unfortunately, some of them we're gonna have to keep on, even if they're shitty games. Looking at you, the Bulls, because of a lot of these injuries. But some of these hammers are huge, like you said, like Pelicans, Atlanta, Clippers, Minnesota. It's gonna be hard to avoid a lot of them. And good thing about the slate too, most of these games all start between like 7 and 8:30 or so. Like, only one 9 o'clock game, one 10:30 game. So although like that 10:30 game is going to be a late night hammer with Wizards and Lakers, but hopefully with some injury news, if there is a lot going on in the day, we get most of that before lock. And I can't really kill a lot of our lineups too, with like most of the games going on early.
Yeah, and you know what to say. Like, I know you're big on pivoting and trying to reoptimize after the early games tip, and like waiting on that news. Like tonight, we were sitting there waiting on the Conley news, and then as soon as it comes out right after lock, and you have to go back and switch in Dorsey and all that stuff. So hopefully we don't have to do that a lot tomorrow, since, like you said, it's pretty front loaded with all those games tipping pretty early. But yeah, one of the other things I look at here, and I like looking at the slate, is just like these teams with like major increases in their implied team totals, like New Orleans and Atlanta. That game, like both of those teams are implied to score 5 to 7 more points than they usually do. Both teams are paced up because of how fast they both play. Like, that game has a ridiculous pace compared to the rest of the games on the slate. Like 107 projected pace. Most of these games are projected in the 90s. Like, it's massively faster than the rest of these games. Lakers have a 6-point increase in their projected total. I mean, there's just definitely some spots that to me are going to be hard to avoid when you're either building cash or, building your GPP lineups.
Definitely, for sure. And the good news is, like, we have a lot of this early. Like, we have some early news here where, like, we already know a day ahead of time, like, Kyrie's out, he's going to be rested. And they preemptively raised the price of Terry Rozier a little bit. Like, he's 6'8" on DK, so it makes him easier. Like, it's not like that 4K price tag where he's an auto lock in the slate. DK is only 6'8". We have Doncic questionable. Peyton, 80's expected to play, right?
Yeah, he's probable. And then we talked to Braun pre-show. Is probably, like, it says game time decision on his player card, but like, he's probable. I think he's going to play. I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah, we have all that Bulls news. So at least, like, it's a 10-game slate, slating season. Like, who the hell knows what's going to go on before lock? But
something will happen. But
at least we have like a general idea and can play around a little bit early without having to think it questionable and all of these Bulls guys or stuff like that. So
yeah,
let's go right into it though.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's jump right into point guards here. I guess I like to look at FanDuel first, just because I'm kind of I play over there a lot. I mean, we're playing a lot more on DK lately, honestly. But we don't have. I'll save James Harden just because he's a shooting guard on FanDuel. But I'm really being drawn to like down in this 8K range. We got Chris Paul at 8.3. Like I really don't want to have to pay up for Kemba. I know he's at home, but I really would rather come down to like Chris Paul or like Trae Young, 8.3 and 8.2. Trae Young, he had this same matchup last time and didn't. He was just okay. I think he only had like 31 or 32 DK points in the same spot. But I mean, it's hard not to love him in the same spot again. I mean, how do you feel about if you had to pick between CP3 and Trae Young at roughly the same price?
I'm definitely going with Trae Young there. Of course, like CP3, but Trae Young's going into an elite matchup against the Pelicans where he's coming out of some rougher games. Like he versed Utah, Houston, Orlando, Boston, Memphis in like 4 of the last 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
He's still been hitting value. He's going into one of the best game environments against the Pelicans tomorrow. And we see like the explosiveness and the ceiling he has. Where like Chris Paul, he did great in those shorter minutes last game, but again, that's a game against the Pelicans. Now he's going into a little bit more rough of a game environment against the Bucks there. So I'm gonna be siding with Trae Young there. Who do you like better?
I definitely like Trae Young better, and I just peeked at DK and I saw he's, CP3 is significantly cheaper, but it's funny with Chris Paul because like every time I play Chris Paul, I'm like tilting him like halfway through the game, like, oh man, he's never gonna get there, and then like somehow he like pours it on late and gets there with like assists and steals, but he just hasn't been getting the shot attempts and scoring the ball as much. Like he just defers to Harden a lot, and he's real content to get his his whenever Harden's not on the floor or whatever. But I do prefer, I think Trae will be chalkier because that game's going to draw a lot of people right away. But I mean, I just can't get away from him. He's definitely going to be in a lot of lineups.
Yeah, definitely too. Chris Paul too, like you were saying, like it's crazy. Like although like he only played 27 minutes, he got like extended into the blowout a little more than most players last game.
Yeah,
and that's where he made a lot of his value. Like
he saved me. Yeah.
At one point, he had like 2 points going in like the fourth quarter or around there, and like only like 9 assists, and like he exploded for like 4 assists and like a quick 8 points, gets you to like the double bonus, and like that's a big difference between like a 25 and a 43.
I remember because last night I faded Harden to cash and I played Chris Paul, and I was nervous until I was like, man, they let Chris Paul play and they kept Harden out, which D'Antoni doesn't always do, so kind of got lucky there. But I mean, Chris Paul's not a bad play, but there's just so many other plays tonight, especially a point guard. Do you have another guy here in this like kind of higher tier range that you're interested in? Like, I mean, Kemba's 8.6 on DK. I kind of passed over him. I don't know.
Yeah, Kemba I like. Playing at home against San Antonio, of course, people think like we always say San Antonio's defense is elite, but that's really not the case. While they're a slower paced team, their defense isn't really what we think of it anymore. They're actually towards the bottom of the pack for defense now, so especially against point guard. So again, it's a 10-game slate. It might be a little more rough to get to him, especially when we have some point guard value. But if I'm going to run like 150 or so, then I can definitely imagine myself having some exposure to him. 2 guys here that are questionable that I've been interested in just about every slate now. And they are both triple-double guys. They're both Peyton and Doncic. Both in great game environments. Like Doncic, 8-5 going against the Kings, and Peyton 7-6 going against the Hawks. Both in good spots where they should thrive. What do you think about those 2?
I mean, again, like it's on DK, it's like a no-brainer with these triple-double guys because of the bonuses and the fact that they're so much cheaper. I mean, that soft DK pricing makes it easier to fit these guys in. I don't know if you noticed with Doncic the last couple games, they changed his eligibility to point guard, shooting guard.
Where he was point guard, small forward for a while too, right?
Right, and I just, especially when you're not in love with like shooting guards, like if you're not playing Harden and maybe you don't want to pay up for Beal, but you want to get an extra I just love being able to plug 4 or 5 point guards into a lineup. Like 2 point guards, you can use as shooting guard, point guard. Um, so I do like Doncic in that game against Sacramento. And on the other side of it, we kind of passed over um, uh, De'Aaron Fox too. Like we didn't really talk about him. He's only 7-7. There's a lot of good plays on this slate. It's going to be really hard to make those choices, especially when these guys are kind of priced around each other. Like Fox 7-7, but then Peyton 7-6. So close. These prices are it's tough, man.
Yeah, what I always say too on these bigger slates, like a lot of what dictates who I'm going to play. When exactly what we said, like when a lot of these guys are great players for us, like we're saying we like Doncic, we like Trae Young, Fox, Kemba, Peyton, all these guys are drawing some interest. Like I'm going to let ownership dictate who I'm going to be playing in tournaments for me. If one of them's stronger than the rest, obviously I'm going to go underweight to him and play the other guy who I like just as much for a fractional ownership there. But there's definitely some guys in that we mentioned from that 7 to 8K range who are nice.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna jump down if we got a minute. I mean, if I skip anybody, let me know. But yeah, the guy I'm really focusing on for cash games will be Frank Jackson. He's 5-6 on FanDuel and he's 5-1 on DK. If Peyton is out, he'll be like probably super chalk and like cash game like auto play. But even if Peyton plays, like this guy's playing 35 to 38 minutes. He's finally getting up more shots. Like he's scoring points now and not just kind of deferring. It feels like he's just feeling more confident and being asked to do more in the offense. So to me, like in that game against the Hawks, like he's an easy, like nice little value piece that you can plug in for cash.
Yeah, Frank Jackson I like a lot too. He's super cheap. Again, great game environment. Peyton misses, like it only makes him that much better. I like him a ton. You brought him up pre-show, and I can't really find a reason not to play him. I'm gonna have a fair share amount of him. One guy I want to bring up too, not because I like him. I think he's fine, but I won't be playing him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Did you see fucking Patrick Beverly tweeted like, "Why is my boy Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting overlooked as Rookie of the Year?" Like, I think that's the most disrespectful thing to like bring his name up in Rookie of the Year conversation where like Doncic and Trae Young are killing it.
Yeah, I mean, like Patrick Beverly's not like a smart guy and just wants to like do something nice for his buddy. But I mean, this kid, he's playing well right now. Like, there's no doubt about it. But
he's definitely playing well.
There were stretches this season where he just disappeared and like he was just getting these minutes taken by all the other guards. So, I mean, he's a nice player. Don't get me wrong, and it's definitely a good game environment. Like, and he's very cheap. He's what is he on DK? He's 5-7 on FanDuel.
Yeah, he's 5-7 on DK too. He's playing a boatload of minutes in a decent matchup. Like, I don't think you need to go there. Like we said, there's a ton of upside in that top end. We've got some guys down low who have some nice upside too. So I'm not going to be going there.
That's just funny. I did not hear that quote. I like.
Yeah, he tweeted and said, like, quote tweeted someone's Rookie of the Year tweet and said, like, how is my man? And, like, at, like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander not getting talked about for Rookie of the Year. Like, come the fuck on, bro. Like,
because there's, like, a bunch
good
of
for you.
Guys
you're a good friend, but let's settle down. Like, be realistic.
Yeah, I mean, how about Shaq? How about your boy Shaq? That the next guy you want to get to, or?
Yeah, he's fine. Like, he's 4-4, being priced up a little bit. I like that he played deeper into blowouts too, which definitely brings appeal. He has a really good story and still hitting decent value. Of course, the matchup's not nice, but again, like he got dragged into a lot of blowout run against Utah and still scored 25 DKP against them at cheap price tag. So,
I mean, look at those minutes. Look at
I'm going to have a ton of exposure too. But it's tough too. Like at this point, you have to question like when he's priced up a little bit now, like 4-4 for Shaq Harrison, or going up a little more for 4-6 with Marcus Smart with no Kyrie against the Cavs. I think I have some interest in Marcus Smart.
I don't ever want to have interest in Marcus Smart, but I get it because of no Kyrie. But I mean, I just about Shaq. I mean, his minutes like 38 and 39 minutes. Like obviously, last game was like probably one of the toughest matchups he's going to have with Utah. But this game against Toronto, like I don't think it's nearly as bad of a matchup. I think he could get there. Again, it's a massive slate. So, like, do you need to play him? Probably not. Could you land on him for value? Maybe. But someone to think about it. I just don't know how much of that Chicago-Toronto game I really want on really either side. It's probably going to be ugly.
Yeah, and then one more guy I'll bring up too, again, like kind of the mid-range. Fred VanVleet, I got to bring him up because you have to assume that the Raptors are resting either Kawhi or Lowry. Go against the Bulls, where their best player right now is going to be like fucking Antonio Blakeney. So,
oh god,
on the assumption that someone's going to be rested, VanVleet at 5K against the Bulls is definitely fine for me.
Yeah, man, he's been letting people down kind of as chalk too lately. So I think people will probably forget about him and not want to pay 5K for him with these other value guys on the slate. So yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good matchup. I'd be interested. Maybe they rest Kawhi and Lowry. Who knows? They could rest both those guys and just run VanVleet and the young guys out there and still smash them. So, that's a really good point. We'll have to keep an eye on like the Raptors because that's pretty much their MO this season is to rest guys and especially if Chicago has like nobody playing. So,
and then I'm going to take us all the way down low now, and I'm going to group these guys together where they have like a mix of point guard and shooting guard eligibility. All this Bulls value we got now. We're like TLC, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot is 3.2, Blakeney's 3.4, Shelton 3.7, Archie Diacono 3.8 with Dunn questionable and everybody else out. Talking about them in tandem, how do you like these guys, or what like as an early stance, what are you gonna be doing with them?
I'm just impressed that you said all their names pretty correctly. Like
I think that's why I kind of brought them up too, just for that one reason.
Wanted to show off that I know how to pronounce these guys' names. I don't know, man. Like, I guess you have to, like, in the morning. That's when I like to look and see what their minutes are gonna be projected at, and it's just hard to know. Like, I really don't like playing Blakeney that much, especially if he's starting. But then again, like, who's gonna take shots? Like, it might be a situation where you play like whoever's coming off the bench and just hope that they get the blowout run and get more shots with the second unit. I don't know. I do like with what's his name, Archie Diacono.
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Try to say it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like Ryan.
Archie Diacono.
Yeah. Didn't he play at Villanova? Was he a Villanova kid?
Yeah, he was a Villanova guy. I think he actually won with them, right?
Yeah, I mean they won 2 out of the last 3. So, yeah, man, he's a nice little player. Like I would rather play him than like Antonio Blakeney. TLC is interesting because he's had a couple good games recently too. But I mean, I just don't know. It feels like there's going to be a lot of other value, and I mean, do you need to go stars and scrubs here? Like, I guess you're gonna want to jam in some of those top end plays, but I don't know. I don't know how much of this cheap Bulls value I want because you're lying to me if you can predict to me which of those guys is gonna.
There's no way anybody really can. I mean, yeah, right. I guess you'd say like Archie Diacono is one most likely at the value to have a decent game, but
right.
Like their projected lineup right now is Archie Diacono, Antonio Blakeney, Shaq Harrison, Markkanen, and Robin Lopez. Like none of those guys. I mean, Blakeney loves to shoot, so I think he's going to be one of the guys I love to go to at the price tag.
If he just can't shoot though, like he's a gunner, but he just doesn't. He's not a good shooter. Like
yeah,
he'll gun, but I mean, I guess Archie because just he's got a better like floor with like assists and he'll grab a couple of steals and he won't turn over like 6 times or anything crazy. Like, but then again, I just don't know how much I want to reach for that value.
It's scary to think of too, like we said, but that starting lineup, like none of those guys outside of Markkanen are like offensively proficient. Archie Diacono drives off assist. Blakeney drives off shooting, which most of the time isn't assisted. Shaq Harrison is more of like a peripheral guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when they only have like so many eligible guys to play and they're going to get a boatload of minutes that someone's going to be hitting value. I think the best case scenario is try to like set your build rules to play like maybe 3 at the most of like Archie Diacono, Blakeney, Harrison, and Selden. But
I got you. Like I'm probably not going to MME this slate. I know you are big into that. Like I'll play a bunch of cash and I'll play like a bunch of like bigger single entry stuff and just like probably not play a lot of like shitty value plays. But I totally get it if you're trying to like get that perfect lineup and build 150 lineups. Like I do.
Anything else at the bottom end of point guard?
Nah, man, I don't think so. You want to move on?
Yeah, we'll go right into shooting guard.
All right, so I saved Harden for here. How much interest do you have in James Harden? I looked up earlier in the season against Milwaukee. He had a pretty good game. It was 42 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, which is like nothing. It's not like a massive Harden game, but it's a good one. Bucks do play kind of fast. I'm trying to I don't know if there's a total out on this game. Oh yeah, we already said the total. Total's high, but it's not huge. I just don't know, if it's a situation where I want to pay for Harden with a lot of other studs on the slate.
Yeah, Harden's tough too because it goes both ways on a 10-game slate. First of all, I think that one game against Milwaukee was without Chris Paul, but Milwaukee, of course, too, is one of the better teams around the rim. They give up a lot around three-point line, and we know Harden loves to shoot from three, so that's one benefit there. And it kind of brings you both ways on a 10-game slate. Especially like we have all this Bulls value already. We have all the value open where it's easy to get to him. So if you want to play him, it's certainly possible. It's not that hard to do. But then on the other hand, like especially where we just named a ton of point guards, there's a lot of this value about 3,000 to 4,000 cheaper in like that 6 to 8K range.
Right.
They all have immense ceilings too. So like, how much do you really want to play Harden and have to force yourself onto those like mid-price, kind of risky guys from the Bulls and stuff like that? When there are some
the math. I mean, just do the math. Like, if you're gonna play Harden and like Archie or something for 3-6, is that what he was? Like, that's 15K. Like, you want to play those two? Like, are those two gonna outscore like 275 guys? Who could go off for 50 each? Like. To me, like when I'm building GPPs, like I know stars and scrubs is appealing, but like on big slates like this, like where there's a ton of like just good mid-tier value, like you look at a lot of winning lineups, like unless Harden goes nuts for 80, 90, 100 points, like I'd rather be underweight on him and overweight on like the 6, 7, 8K, like really guys in really good spots.
Yeah, I'm right with you too.
Cool.
Same stance.
How do you feel about Beal then? He's the next highest priced guy at 9.3. Good matchup. He hasn't been doing it lately.
Yeah, you gotta like him a lot too. Again, it's weird that he hasn't been doing it lately, but his field goal attempts have been trending down. It's just his minutes, which give me some question now. Like he hasn't been playing those 40 minutes or so. Like. Even if you bring it from like that 40-minute threshold down to like that 34 to 36 where he's played the last two, that takes a lot of production away from him. Especially when like if Doncic plays at 8-5, you have to consider him. Of course, we know the game matchup is going to be nice for him against the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Am I gonna have him? I'm sure I'm going to.
He just doesn't feel like a must play. I mean, like you and I were on him for a few weeks where it was like, I wouldn't fade him because he's just massive minutes and usage. But like right now, it just feels like he's a little overpriced compared to the field. Not that he's, priced up beyond where you can play him, but there's just all these guys below him that are just really appealing too.
Especially on this like big of a slate and you see the minutes trending down. Like I almost rather take that wait and see approach to see if like going forward his minutes are only going to be around like 35 or so.
Right.
When we have a ton of options and like if we see that he's going to hit 40 minutes this game, then yeah, maybe I know I can safely go back to him on future slates. But if he's going to play around 35, then he's not going to burn me, and like I don't really have to worry about him there. And I know going forward, I don't really have to play him too much.
I'm just wondering if he's just like decided to be more of a facilitator too and try to get the young guys the ball. Like they're playing this like bigger lineup with Bryant and Portis, and they're not necessarily playing like small ball, and maybe that's a little bit too small of a sample size to look at yet. But I'm just wondering if he's going to step back and just decide not to take over games anymore. So I'm with you. I'm a little bit like I'm kind of off of him, which is odd because I do like that game in general. We already hit on Doncic. The next guy here who's really interesting is like DeRozan at 7-7. That's just kind of a sneaky good game too with like Charlotte, and you could kind of stack up like Kemba and DDR like a little 1v1. What do you think about him?
He's cheap enough to play, but I don't know. It's one of those things you said earlier where I don't know if I'm really rushing to play him when we have this size of a slate. But of course, he always has a lot of matchup, and for DVP people, shooting guards against the Hornets have been relatively decent. So he's fine, but I don't know if I'm really going to land him much.
I haven't been playing him a lot lately. I'll be honest. Like I was on him
really
a lot
haven't been needing to. Like
no,
he's been expensive around 8K now. Like he hasn't been killing you. Like yeah, he's got like 48 a couple times, but when he's 8K and over that, like he got up to 8.5. Like that's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm skipping a few guys here, but the guy I really had circled was Lou Will in this Clippers T-Wolves game. He's down here at 6'9". I think he had a really big game against them last time, and obviously we know he has a like massive ceiling anytime out. But I mean, how do you feel about Lou Will? Like as far as tournaments, like he's not really a cash play down here, but GPP type play.
So again, it's another guy that's kind of taking me both ways. On one hand, I don't think I need to play him because he's super volatile at that price range. I think he's safe for guys with just about the same upside. But again, that's kind of why you want to play him. He's going to be like a 10-game slate. He's going to be like sub like 6% owned or so.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to play him, because if he's going to be that low, and then he does have the volatility and good matchup. Like he can always break a slate. So I'm kind of on him.
He has broken some slates this year. That's the thing. Like, you know, you're gonna have to play him 2 or 3 times and accept like 30 DK points, and then the fourth time you play him, he goes for 60, and you're like, oh, here we go, we're winning. Just so you know, he did score 45 actual points against them back in February. I know you're not big on like, you know, prior history all the time, but that's a significant number, 45 like real points. So he only had like 50 DK points, but he had 45 points in the game.
Yeah, that's definitely impressive.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you do the next one here because I've been kind of steering you to these guys. But did you have somebody kind of sub 7K here in the 6K range that this really stood out to you?
Dwayne Bacon at 4K. If everyone's
way down.
Yeah, I'm going way down with him. Is he shooting guard or small forward eligible on
I think he's a small forward. Let me just double check. I'll just double check while you're talking. I think he and Bridges are both small forward.
If Batum's out, then I don't have a problem playing with him. But even with Batum back, like he hasn't been playing his normal minutes again. Like they kind of been letting him take a backseat to some of these younger guys. So
yep, Bacon's small forward. He's 3'9", and Bridges is 5'5" on FanDuel.
Yeah, Bridges we'll talk about small forward because I'm gonna love him, but Bacon at 4K, I don't mind there. Shooting guard and DK.
Yeah, man. The Hornets value guys. I mean, we'll go to some other guys too. Like, it just does seem like they're just going to roll Kemba and the young guys here out at the end of the year.
I know you're going to love this guy. Jordan Clarkson against the Celtics. I didn't want to bring up before you can, but your shooting guards against the Celtics.
Yeah.
He's playing well. His minutes have been up. Do you like him?
I mean, I don't ever like playing Jordan Clarkson. I'm a Cavs fan, but like he just has to score so many actual points because when you look at what he does, like he gets like 2 or 3 rebounds a game. He might get 2 or 3 assists. Like he's got to score like 25 real points to really get to tournament value. And so he's playing well. I get that. Like I'm still looking at like his output here, and like he hasn't like won a slate recently. Like. And like, is he even really a shooting guard? Is he just really he's really like a point guard off the bench, plays like Lou Will, you know, he's like a ball dominant player. Like, I don't know. I don't love it. I haven't really playing a lot of Cavs lately. I think they're kind of just not really playable with all these guys playing. And yeah, I'm surprising here. I thought you probably thought I'd like him, but I don't know.
I thought you'd love him.
I mean, right by him. What's he on DK? I'm looking at FanDuel.
He's 5'5".
So yeah, so like I mean, you're right there by like KCP at 5K, and they're priced almost the same thing on over here. I'd much rather play like KCP against Washington in like a pace up spot. He's getting all those minutes. Like I love playing him in up and down games. So if I had to pick for 200 less on FanDuel and for a couple hundred less on DK, I'd go KCP over Jordan Clarkson.
That's fair.
I mean, I guess
down.
Are all those other guys for KCP are those guys out like Bullock and Josh Hart out again? I think so.
All right. So Bullock is questionable. Hart's out. Like Muscala's questionable, and of course Lonzo and Ingram are still out.
Right. I mean, he's playing 30.
Expected to play.
Last 3 games, like 33, 33, and 34 minutes. Like, sure, he can have a bad shooting night like he did against Brooklyn and hit 20, but like if he's gonna get hot, like he like almost won me a slate there, and I went against Milwaukee when he scored like 50 DK points. Like, I just like him. He's a gunner, and playing with LeBron, he's gonna get open looks. I like KCP a lot.
Yeah, the only guy I see at the bottom range outside of like the Bulls we already mentioned is going to be Lance. He came back, played more minutes than I expected. He played 25 minutes and kind of killed all the Caruso I played. But again, he's going into another good match. He played the Kings last time, playing the Wizards this time. If he's going to play 25 minutes against the Wizards, then I'll definitely like that 3-6 a lot.
Yeah. What about I got 2 guys for you who only because they like recency bias, people will not play them. Jaylen Brown, who just crushed everyone as chalk yesterday, is 4-9. I mean, I feel like that's just a classic Jaylen Brown. Like, he'll just come back and have a great game tomorrow. There's not a real statistical reason there. Just like he'll troll everybody and play well. And then Alex Caruso, same thing. Like yesterday, hey, we'll just plug Caruso and Jaylen Brown in, and like both those guys busted, but they're both in like equally or better spots tomorrow. I mean, I don't know what you think.
So Caruso, I think, got hurt a lot minutes wise. Lance returning. It's a decent matchup. If LeBron misses, I'll definitely play him, but otherwise I'll mostly be off him.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown, I don't know. Like, that's my boy. Like, I love Jaylen Brown as a real life player. And like I'm on team like fuck Hayward now. Like he's washed up. I'd rather play Jaylen Brown over him. Didn't work out too well last game, I can tell you that.
Yeah. But that's all the more reason to play him. Like if you're a Jaylen Brown truther, like you should make sure you get some exposure tomorrow because I mean without Kyrie, like he's one of the best. I think doesn't he get one of the best bumps? Like it's him and Hayward,
yeah.
And maybe Tatum might be out. Like we don't know about Tatum or Horford yet.
So I definitely like Jaylen Brown. Where he's like you said, 4-9 against the Cavs, fine. No Kyrie like that. Decent matchup for him too. I want to say I can't imagine him burning you at this price tag with no Kyrie, but I'll probably reserve him for tournaments again.
Yeah, I mean he's a tournament play, but on this slate
too, and like he got me 8 DKP.
Yeah, he was only a cash play last slate because it was a small slate and there wasn't any value. Like there's better value for cash games tomorrow, but as far as like tournaments, like I said, I think he's a good tournament play. There's one other guy. Sorry, I skipped over. There's one other guy I hadn't circled.
Go ahead. You were about to talk about the guy.
No, probably the same. Maybe it's the same guy.
Clark. All right, go ahead. Talk about Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard, man. Like I had him last night, and you know he got like almost the whole fourth quarter run, and like I think it's shooting guards against Denver is like this one random isolated matchup we've been looking at in the Slack the last couple weeks. Doesn't show up, in the DVP really here. Like it shows up 14th overall rank, but I forget who it was that pointed out in the Slack and was like, shooting guards against Denver. And I went back and back tested it, and it's been a good matchup. So I mean, dude can shoot the lights out. Like I like him. He's cheap. I mean, it's a good spot. I wouldn't mind grabbing some of him. He's kind of boom or bust with his shooting, but I like the spot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's falling the category for me where he's fine, but I think it's going to get taken away by some of the better games in the slate.
He's the same
and some of the
price as
cheaper value.
Bacon. I mean, I noticed that. But
Yeah, like 4K is always fine, and he's been playing decent minutes now, like 20 plus in the last two close games. I guess he's fine. But the guy I was talking about, Ian Clark, which if Elf
yeah,
misses, I'll definitely like Ian Clark only if Elf misses.
he's got to be super cheap, right? What is he, like 3 something?
Yeah, he's 3-6.
There he is. All right,
Uh,
like, geez, there's so many guys on the slate. I found him. Yeah, I'm actually a
yeah,
Ian Clark dude. Like, I like Ian Clark a lot. I usually play him like whenever, like for a while when it was like Tim Frazier chalk and stuff. I was always be like, oh, just play Ian Clark instead. But I guess that depends on elf status.
yeah, definitely contingent on the Elf status. Anything else you see shooting guard or want to move over to small forward?
No, let's roll over. We got a big slate. Might as well keep it moving here.
Start us off at top. Giannis, LeBron, Kawhi towards the top end. Any of those three you like?
Definitely not Kawhi. I mean, even if he plays, like, there's no way I'm touching Kawhi in that game. As soon as they get ahead by 20 points, they will put him on the bench. To me, he is unplayable. I don't care if Lowry sits. Like, I'm not touching Kawhi. I'm saying that right now, and I'm not benching him tomorrow. LeBron and Giannis are interesting. Now, there's a really big price difference on FanDuel. LeBron is 11K and Giannis is 12.4. DK, it's what, 10.3 to 10.2. It's
11-3
significant. I
to
mean,
10-2, yeah.
yeah, 11-3. My bad. I mean, I know Giannis played well in that last game. I think he was, what is it? He had a 2020 game, like 27, 21, and 5. But I'm leaning LeBron. Like, and last slate, was the first time I played LeBron like since the All-Star break. He was like 6% owned, and he almost won me like some FanDuel tournaments because he just, they just been playing him. Like, they were like, oh, we're gonna monitor his minutes. He's not gonna play full minutes, and then he's playing 35, 36 minutes, and it's a national TV game. It's a good matchup. Like, they've won a couple in a row now. I think he just feels like he needs to go out and help him win. So I'm leaning LeBron based on the discount and the favorable matchup. I think he'll be lower owned than, like, everyone's going to be on Giannis and Harden.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving LeBron right with you too. It's stupid. Like, even his ownership's been absolutely criminal since we heard that he's not gonna be playing like 38 to 40 minutes a game anymore, and he's gonna be seeing like 32 to 35. No one plays him anymore, no matter the matchup. Even when he was in a great matchup against the Kings and played 37, 35 minutes beforehand, like the two games before that.
Yeah.
But if he's gonna he's playing around 35 minutes a game now, 35 minutes against the Wizards. I'll take that any day for Malone, LeBron. Like, that's fine with me. We've seen he's still having some nice upside, still having a solid floor. And right when he got that minutes restriction too, we saw some impressive games out of him in tougher matchups in short minutes, like 64 DKP triple double in 20 minutes, 54 DKP in 31. Even if he plays like 34 minutes, 32 at the low end here against the Wizards, if he can get me 55 plus, which I definitely think he can, I'm gonna have some interest in him.
Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing about LeBron tomorrow. First of all, the Wizards are horrible defensively and play fast, and like we've been targeting teams against the Wizards for the last 2 weeks. Like, they just don't play any defense. The other thing with LeBron is, like, like the Lakers are not going to pull away from them. Like, even if they do get up on them, like they were up on the Kings last night, like, what, like 15 points or something, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll blow them out. Maybe this game will bust, and all of a sudden Kings come back because Lakers aren't playing any defense. So I think that game stays close, and I think for a couple reasons it'll go under owned. Like you mentioned, LeBron and the whole like narrative with like him resting and stuff, but also it's just the late night hammer, and people just forget about that last game. Um, I'm not a narrative guy, but like national TV LeBron is a thing. We know that. Him trying to just show up and maybe silence some of the critics, people who have been on his case about him, not taking the Lakers to the playoffs and all this stuff. Like, it would not surprise me at all if he just went nuts tomorrow and 60, 70 DK points at like what 10% ownership. Like, I'm very much on Team LeBron tomorrow.
I'm right with you there.
All right, I ranted long enough on LeBron. I mean, it's a big drop off here as far as price, but also just the guys who are priced in this like 6-7K range. Is there anybody that really stands out to you? We already touched on some of these guys at shooting guard.
Yeah, so everyone knows that I love to talk and I can go on for hours about everything. I'm going to try to keep it short and simple today and not talk about the guys I don't love. Gallo's fine, but otherwise from like that 6K plus range, small forward, I really don't like anything else. Jabari Parker's fine at 6'3". I like him, definitely.
Maybe like Wiggins. I mean, I'm trying to find the next guy down this list. Like Wiggins with nobody else in Minnesota. Like that seems like a good spot. He's affordable.
Wiggins is fine, but with him being so scoring reliant and like Cat doing the majority of their offensive load now, I get it's a great matchup, but I don't know, man. Like it's his volatility is really not even there. Like it's what's his scoring ceiling now? Like when you look at volatility, you want a guy like Lou Will who can get you like 25 or like 60. Right. He's gonna get you like 20 or 40 now. Right. Like I don't think you need that on this slate, but Jabari Parker's been my boy for a little while at the same price tag, so I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. Jabari has by far more upside. I think just point per dollar. Yeah, it's just tough because I'm scrolling through these names and there's nobody that I love. Like you almost have to get down to like 5'2" and like Taurean Prince. Like we're gonna be on a lot of guys from this game. He's been actually trending up lately. Small forwards against the Pelicans has been like one of my favorite spots all season long. How do you feel about Prince? No one plays him either. Like no one like people hate playing any Hawk that's not like Trey or Collins.
Yeah, I think you said it best. Is where this position is super ugly so far. So can I land on him? Definitely, yeah, because I don't mind getting any exposure to this game. I don't really love him at first glance, of course, but he's my favorite out of that like 5K range. I can imagine myself going down to like Shaq Harrison or like even like Selden at dirt cheap, but Prince is fine. I'm looking at now. Like small forward is super ugly tomorrow, man.
You have to play. Well, you don't have to, but I mean, you should play, despite the fact that you hate him. Gordon Hayward at 4'8", like with a no Kyrie, like at least in cash, you should play him.
I fucking hate it. It's so weird though. Like when Kyrie's out, he doesn't look good. I will never say he looks good again until he proves me wrong. But he looks like he actually does something. When Kyrie's playing, he's just another 3-and-D guy. Like, doesn't make any attempt at any peripheral. Doesn't move at the corner.
No.
But with Kyrie out, he does see a pretty significant boost. So
I guarantee you, when you pull up projections, like you're gonna see him like amongst the top point per dollar tomorrow. And so like I know as a cash game player, like you weigh that a lot. And like if he's gonna be like chalk, like you're gonna probably just like match the field and just
he's gonna be cash game for sure. Like right. Especially I think Tatum's questionable game time decision too. So like he not only will have a lot of offensive load to carry, but the minute's gonna be there for him. So
my thing is like he's not just scoring. Like you said, when Kyrie's out, he's not like a scoring dependent like shooter. Like he's gonna get 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Like he has more of a floor with his ancillary stats. Like to me, like he'll be a no-brainer in cash, and probably a decent tournament play. I mean, he's under 5K.
Would you rather on DK play Hayward at 5? Like, all right, say he's double ownership, which you're probably gonna be assumed at this point. Would you rather play Hayward at 5K or Bridges at 4.7, assuming Hayward's at least double the ownership of Bridges?
Oh, Bridges all day. Like that guy has a way better ceiling. Like he's playing awesome right now. I would play Bridges. Like I would double up on the ownership on Bridges and go underweight on Hayward for sure.
Yeah, I'm right with you there.
I mean, that's awesome. I'm like we've been waiting for this Bridges outbreak like all season. Like it's been a long time coming, but finally they're like, you know what? We're just gonna play him, and dude's finally like taking shots and making shots. Like, I love him tomorrow. Definitely, he's a good play. Nice pivot.
Anything else? Bottom range or small forward? I mentioned.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Lance before, who's also shooting guard eligible.
Yeah, Lance.
I think it's be pretty chalky too with this ugly position. What else do you see here that brings up some interest in a spot that we don't really love?
I don't really love it, but it's just in this game that we like. What about Kevin Hordier, what the hell his name is?
He's been
so shitty lately.
Yeah, I can't imagine myself going to him in cash. Like, he's fine because the game, but tournaments will have some appeal where the total's going to be super high and everything. He has upside. Like, we've seen him catch fire from three, and like that game against New Orleans last time when he scored 40 DKP, I think he scored like 18 points in like the third quarter alone. Came out at halftime
I remember
fire
that.
from three.
Yeah.
So when he has that kind of upside to him in this matchup, and it's going to play probably around 30 minutes, yeah, like he's fine for tournaments, I guess.
I'm looking at his picture. Like, tell me he doesn't look like he was like photoshopped out of like a JV basketball photo. Like, it looks like he's 15 and like doesn't look athletic, but like you watch him play and like he can catch and shoot guy. Like he can knock him down. But yeah, I prefer like Kennard and a couple other guys like Harrison above or below him. I don't love him, but I mean, it makes sense if like you're gonna stack up that game and just go like 5 or 6 dudes from that Hawks game. What do you think, man? You want to keep things rolling over here and get the power forward, keep it moving?
Yeah, we'll go right to power forward.
All right. I don't really love the dudes up top, like especially if we're gonna like try to pay up for. I guess on DK here we have Giannis and LeBron and Kawhi are all power forward eligible too. I guess Julius Randle is 8-1. See, I wasn't even really looking at him because he's 9. I know he's 8-4 on FanDuel. Jeez. Like, what do you feel? What are you doing with Julius Randle with like AD playing? Like, I don't know. It's tough with. He hasn't been getting the minutes and hasn't been getting it done lately.
The only thing that brings more appeal to him, well, of course, the matchup too, but if Elf misses, I think it brings some more upside with the rebounding and like having the ball in his hands more and everything. So if Elf misses, definitely brings more appeal, but the matchup brings a lot of appeal as it is. So I can imagine I'll have a bit of him.
There's 2 guys that I had circled who are pretty similarly priced here. Actually, they're the same price on DK. It's John Collins and Bagley. I mean, Bagley's been awesome. He's finally now up over 7K. He feels like a really safe cash play. But Collins is a guy that like I kind of like for tournaments just because he has like an awesome ceiling if he ever gets the minutes and stays out of foul trouble. And I think he did well in the same spot last time. I don't remember exactly how many points, but where do you stand on those 2 guys? Like same price, like.
Yeah, I definitely like them both. I'm gonna like anyone that in that Atlanta New Orleans game for sure. Collins always brings a lot of upside, although he hasn't shown it as of late. He's gonna play 30 minutes or so. Like we've seen him explode in even more difficult matchups against like Memphis, San Antonio, like Boston, even for some huge games here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of game log watchers definitely gonna be off him a little bit, so I won't mind going to him.
Yeah, and the game log watchers will be on Bagley. That's the thing. Like Bagley's clearly trending up. Like he's been the play the last couple slates. Like I think ownership wise, Collins makes sense as may have pivoted off Bagley for tournaments. What about this is just hypothetical. Like what if they like Raptors don't play Kawhi or Lowry and you can just like play Siakam at 7-6 and just maybe he just goes nuts.
If they both get ruled out, yeah, definitely. And even if like one of them's out, like if it's why that's out, Siakam does bring a lot of appeal. Of course, there's a lot of blowout potential, and when it's like the Bulls are gonna start like Archie Diacono, Shaq Harris, and then Blakeney, Robin Lopez, I can't imagine the game lasting more than a half.
Yeah,
but you got to think too. It's gonna be on the back of someone. So like Siakam. It's fine. His price getting up there, but
he's been so good. Like I know we've talked about him before. Like he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. Like just watching. Like I remember when he first came in the league, and he was just kind of like this raw dude who they were gonna like try to like just make into like a defensive player. And like man, like watching him play, like he can knock down threes and does a little bit of everything. Like he's a rising star, man. I really like watching him play.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. Um,
Back to
Otherwise,
DFS,
top
sorry.
end, power forward, it's marketing at
Oof.
6'7". No Levine, no Otto Porter. Of course, Willie Carter Jr. still out. Dunn's questionable. It's going to be so hard not to play him. He's
Yeah, it feels like a trap. I don't know. You're right though. Like he had 20 shot attempts in only 26 minutes last game. I mean, he's gonna shoot the ball for them like every other possession. Um,
That's
but
my
like,
thought too. So a
sure,
guy like him playing with those starters, assuming Dunn doesn't play, and even if he does, it still brings a little appeal to him. You got to think like the majority of offensive load is going to be going through him,
for
and
sure.
at 6'7", he's pretty cheap now. Like although he kind of showed a little bit of inclination again in the last few games, he definitely like my points being that I think he's going to carry enough of the load in 26 minutes where he can't kill you at this cheap price tag. But anything past that 26 to 20 minutes, if the game stays close, only brings more upside. Like at 6'7", I think he can hit 35 DKP in 26 to 28 minutes. If the game stays close enough to stretch into play like 32 plus minutes, then I definitely think he has a lot more upside than most people think too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm probably avoiding that game in cash, like because there's just so many other appealing games. But like, you're right. Like he could go totally underowned in tournaments, and if the Bulls hang around, or if like we get the Raptors B squad, for example, Kawhi and Lowry both sit, and then the game stays closer because of that. Like, yeah, man, he's a great tournament play. He's as cheap as he's been in what like a month. Like, he's very appealing.
Anything else you see towards the top end?
No, I think we're at this point. I'm like going like 6K or below. Bobby Portis is 6'1", and I'd much prefer to play Thomas Bryant if at 5'2". Like, but both of them have some appeal in that late game. Like, how do you feel about those two? I think Bryant will be cash game chalk again.
Definitely cash game chalk for Bryant. Portis a lot of tournament upside. He's back to playing around 30 minutes or so, starting next to Bryant. So I like to call him Portis, but Bryant is going to have a ton of ownership too,
Yeah,
but obviously rightfully so.
yeah. I mean, down here we have Larry Nance. Like, I guess he's been playing better and playing more minutes. Like, he's 5'3", and I don't mind taking big guys against Boston. Um, I had LaMarcus here tonight, like go nuts for me against Boston. Um, how do you feel about like he's the only other guy really in this range that's really like standing out to me.
He's still super cheap too. Uh, I think his upside's kind of capped though when everyone's playing. Like we saw Tristan Thompson's back now. If
Yeah.
Love plays, I think his upside's kind of capped. Where I think we've been seeing around 30 DKP from him, and that's like we should be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think he's much more ceiling there. I think Bryant at 5'2", of course, he's gonna be a lot heavier owned than Larry Nance. But even like Bielitsa at 5'3", I
Yeah.
like more than Nance. There's a few guys in the price range I'm thinking I'd rather go to over Nance. Even going a little bit higher up to Deadman at 5'7". He's not playing huge minutes, but he's been producing super well in them. Like we saw like 30 DKP in 4 of the last 5, 36, 39 in there. Matchup's great for him, so
I mean,
I got to consider it too.
going back to Bielitsa, like it's all about Giles. Like it says Giles is questionable. If like Giles plays, that might kill Bielitsa a little bit, right? Is that who we're looking at as far as whether or not we want to play Bielitsa?
Yeah, that's a big factor there.
Because I mean, I like Bielitsa, but at 5'3" on this size slate, he's not really playable unless Giles is out. And I'm pretty sure Taj Gibson's out. So like, you got Dario at 4'8", like, and he's been playing better, but I don't know if you're a Dario guy or not.
I never really play him. Like, again, a guy, yeah, he's fine enough, but
Not a lot of
has
upside.
scared me. No, I don't think he really can either.
Yeah.
Like, when you play next to like Cat and Wiggins, it's so hard to get that production from me, especially like it's not just like a scorer like anybody. Like it's not like a Lillard, for example, is going to get all his production from score. Like Cat's getting a lot of his production from like rebounding
Right.
and scoring. So I think that hurts him a lot there.
Plus, you got. I mean, the guy you might want to play instead is Tolliver off the bench. Like he played 22 minutes last game. He's 3-2, and he hit 20 DK points. Like, like you said, Dario's out there with the starters and like just kind of playing next to Cap. But like, that's kind of since we're just on that whole game right now. Like Tolliver at 3-3 is like kind of interesting for tournaments.
Otherwise, towards that bottom range, not a lot more. I love. Anything stand out to you?
Well, the only other guy is he got there the other night is Thies. He if Horford's out and if Robert Williams are both out, like I think Williams is already out, but I don't know about. Horford's questionable. I know Baines will never play heavy minutes, so like Thies gets the other center minutes and some backup power forward minutes. Like I don't know. It feels like a bit of a stretch here. Like we're reaching for some guys, but
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but first look, again, all the Bulls value I'd much rather go to where you know they can get a ton of minutes. But Tice is fine against the Cavs, I guess. If we got to hear about Bane's minutes limit, I know he was limited to like 15 to 20 last game.
right.
It's contingent on the Horford news. I know like Robert Williams is going to be out again, but Horford plays. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be going to Tice.
No, Horford will, if he plays that, just gets rid of him. All right, what do you think? You want to go to center?
We'll go right into center.
All right, so we got the big cat.
Center's pretty fun here. Four big studs here: Drummond, Vooch, Jokic, Towns. All pretty expensive. All center eligible only. Gonna have to make some stands here. Cat's an amazing matchup where we get like Drummond, Vooch, and Jokic, and a little bit of tougher matchups. What's your stand between them for?
Cat is by far to me the best play of all of them, and I mean, I don't even know if I want to play the other three guys that badly. And you know me, I love the Joker. Joker and Drum against each other. Like, I don't know. That game is weird. Like, I don't know what to make of that Denver Detroit game. And then Vooch, I love playing Vooch, especially when he's cheap. But like, it's just not a great matchup with Miami. That game had such a low total, and like, I just always get weird with Vooch's minutes. Like, I know he didn't play the full game today, but like, they just don't ever want to play him like 34, 35 minutes, it seems. So, like, I would probably play Towns and then like skip those dudes and go down to some of the like mid-tier guys. That's just me.
It's tough because like you gotta imagine Vooch is gonna get minutes even on back-to-back coming into this late in season. Between 7, 8, and 9 seed, they're a game and a half apart for the East. They're all like battling, or even 6 seed between like Nets, Pistons, Heat, Magic. They're all 2 games apart for those bottom 3 seeds there. Or Magic's kind of looking in from the outside. It's the 9 seed right now, half game behind the Heat. I would imagine Vooch has to get as many minutes as he can handle if they do want to make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean
The matchup is tough regardless.
He and Drummond under 9K is like crazy. Like again, I'm looking at FanDuel and they're all priced up over. I mean, Vooch is the cheapest at 9.9. They're all like 10K or above, and Cat's all the way up at 11.8. But I mean, at FanDuel it's so tough because you have to get center right. Like it's DK, we play a lot of like 2 center lineups, and you can mess around with that stuff, and it doesn't feel as important. But like FanDuel, you're like if you don't nail center, if you play the wrong dude, and you're 20 or 30 points behind the other guys, it's you're done. So, I mean, I feel like Towns is the safe play and the guy I would pay up for more often than not. But I mean, all these guys are definitely decent pivots. Is there anybody? We already touched on like some of the power forward eligible guys here, but
so between going back to those 4 guys, like obviously we're both going to rank Cat as the number one. Like
for sure.
Jokic, Vooch, and Drummond. Rank them between like 1, 2, 3.
So point per dollar, I would go Vooch, and then probably Drummond, and then the fact that Jokic is a full $1,000 more than those other guys, I would probably go Vooch, Drummond, and then Jokic. Like if you're paying $10K for Jokic, just find the extra 700 and go up to Cat. Like
Yeah, that's my thought
Cat's
too.
been crushing, dude. Like without those other guys, like he's just shooting a ton and he's getting a ton of rebounds, and it's a amazing matchup. Like I just don't. Here's the thing with big slates, like you are tempted to want to get cute sometimes, and I don't like want to get too cute. Play the good plays.
It's not necessary to try to do anything crazy there.
Right. Like to me, play Towns. If you want to take a shot on like Vooch or Drummond at like 8-7 and 8-9, they're super underpriced there. But then I'm gonna go down just so we keep things moving here. Probably skip Capella tomorrow. And look at like JaVale and like that next range down there. JaVale 6'5". I mean, you're still rolling JaVale at that price. He's been just money.
Yeah, it's what I wrote. I had him as a core play in my cash article last time. It's going to be the same thing I said in the article. Like he's playing like 30 minutes or so in like 4 of the last 5 games. Against the Wizards, you can't fade 30 minutes of JaVale McGee at 6'5" against the Wizards. In cash games, like the whole mindset, if you fade him and he goes, like he's going to be super high owned again, and rightfully so, with the amazing matchup, his minutes being up, his per minute production. If he goes off, if he's going to play 30 minutes, like he has, we've seen it last couple of games, 40 plus, easily capable, a higher ceiling with the matchup. He's going to be super high owned. If you fade him, he can easily burn you.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be so high owned where, I mean, again, it's a super first look, but I can imagine he's going to be so high owned that if he does disappoint you, what's going to be a disappointment in 30 minutes? Like 28? And that's not even really hurting you, and you're right with like most of the field at that number.
I mean, that's the thing with him. He's got, at this point now in the season when he's getting these minutes, he's got a solid floor, and as we saw the other night, like an incredible ceiling. Like I know it was fluky with what did he have, 72 or whatever. Like he's not gonna drop 72 tomorrow, but he could drop 50 like easily, like with his rebounding and block shots. And oh yeah, he used to play for Washington, so I'm sure we'll get some revenge game narrative. People like, back in the day when he used to. Didn't he shoot the wrong basket to get a rebound or some stupid bullshit? Like
I think that's when he was like
he was like
Shaq to the Fool really originated from him.
Yeah, I mean he's an idiot. He's a really dumb dude, but like
that'll never change. He's getting decent at basketball, I'll say that, but the whole stupid part of him will never be gone.
Like he like went to the Warriors and like everyone's like, oh, JaVale McGee is this like great basketball player now. Like not necessarily, but he can catch he can catch lobs and dunk the ball and grab 20 rebounds and block 5 shots. Like, of course he can. So, yeah, I mean, we're laboring the point. Like, JaVale's a great play. I think you're going to want him in cash and probably, especially if we want to stack that game up. He pairs really well with LeBron. And you could run it back with, like, Bryant or Portis or some of the Wizards guys.
This is going a little bit off the wall, too, outside, like, daily fantasy. But JaVale McGee, when he was on the Warriors, splitting minutes a ton with Zaza and him. What I believed and what I heard countless times, and pretty sure it was from Kerr directly too. A lot of the reason why he was playing like 18 to 20 minutes was like I could have swore it was Kerr said too. Like he had like a tremendously bad asthma to the point where he couldn't play like more than like 6 minutes, 5 minutes straight, and that's why he was always capped like 20 to 25 minutes. Yeah, where the fuck is that gone? Like now that he's playing like 35 minutes a game with like. I don't know.
I mean, he does still play like kind of like Embiid, like shorter stints, but I just thought that was just like a rotation thing. Like he just played him 5 minutes and then get him out. But I mean, maybe he's cured. Maybe his asthma is cured. I don't know.
Is asthma even thing that you can cure? I don't think asthma has a cure. I don't know.
Well, he's got a good inhaler or something. I don't know.
It's the Lakers in Los Angeles inhalers.
He sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber like Kobe Bryant or some shit. I don't know. Like, who cares? Like, just as long as he scores 40 DK points, like
that's what I'm worried about.
I don't think he can even count to 40. Like it's JaVale McGee. Like,
No.
but yeah. Anyways, it's well after midnight. We're well off topic, but I mean, jump down below JaVale here. Like, I guess Dwight Powell's cheap again, like under 6K, but I don't see a ton of guys that I'm like loving. Like until you get down to like some of the cheaper dudes. Like, what do you think?
No one that
I'm asking you because I can't find guys. I mean, Aaron Baines at 3.6. If we get like no Horford or something, but
I always, no matter the slate, no matter the slate size, I always try to get like some, even if it's like 1, 2, 3% exposure to Alex Len.
Yeah.
You know the permitted like possibility he has, and
I actually like that call.
4-4. I don't mind him as a tournament play. If like Dedmon gets some foul trouble, anything happens there, like he can obviously see extended minutes and have a nice ceiling, but that's kind of a nice reliable play.
There is one guy I finally found. It's Hernangómez at 3.5 with Zeller already being ruled out. Like he's getting minutes, and he's obviously a really good permanent guy coming off of 34 last game. He had a 13-10 game. What do you think about Willy Hernangómez?
Yeah, I don't mind big against San Antonio too. He's been playing around 20 minutes. He has a nice tournament ceiling too, so I don't mind going to him at all.
That's what I mean. Like you're typically thinking like guys down there like like a cash play, like he's got a good floor and everything, but like I think he's got some upside. And it's been his minutes have been kind of funny because like he played 24, 23, 17, 20. Like if he gets like that extended run with like 24 minutes in a game like this, like he could easily go 10x.
Yeah, I'm right with you with that call.
Especially on like FanDuel, I think he's super cheap. Like at FanDuel, I don't like punting center. Like, but on a slate like this, if I'm not playing cat and I want to jam in, like you do a lot of stars and scrubs on FanDuel. It's kind of the chalk build, but like if you're gonna, punt like with a Hernangómez is like 4-2 over there, like he's a nice. You're punting, but like you're probably not going to drop his score because he's going to be like 25 to 30, and then you can go and punt somewhere else too. Like I like in tournaments like double punting or triple punting because you're just like, hey, a couple of these guys are going to hit 20 to 25, and if one guy sucks, like I'll drop him and I'll just load up on some studs. So.
Well, otherwise, like, if you have anyone else to mention at center, go ahead. I don't see anyone else I really like there.
I mean, on FanDuel, Thomas Bryant is a center, so he's the guy I'm looking at for like cash games, 6K. But I know he's power forward eligible on DK, which is pretty clutch. Mason Plumlee is like, I don't know how often you play him. Like, he's like your Jokic insurance. Like, just in case he gets in foul trouble with the drum or something, you could play Plumlee. But man, I don't really love many of these guys now. Baines.
Yeah, nothing down low really.
How about this guy?
Play
Cristiano Felicio and just hope it turns into a blowout. Like that dude's been actually pretty good the last 3 games.
Yeah, he's been getting a solid amount of minutes. I didn't even realize that they bring it up.
I mean, again,
it's just so tough for me.
Play, yeah.
Anyone who's only center eligible always becomes impossible to play on a 10-game slate who's that cheap, unless he's in like an absolute smash spot.
You're right.
Because like then you got to force yourself. Like I love Towns. I know I want to play Towns. Like then am I going to play Felicio on my utility? I don't know if I want to force that, but he does it fine, I guess. Like if you want to take some tournament shots on him,
it's a deep kind of tournament play because, like you said, you're basically playing for a blowout, hoping he gets like fourth quarter run, and so. And I think that's about it, man. I'm good. If you're good,
I'm good. But the one thing we didn't discuss pre-show, which we always do, I was running a little late, is our beard bet.
Yeah, man.
So I am the absolute the champ here now, 3-0 in our beer bets since we started the show together. I don't think I can lose. I don't think I will lose. Give me something to work with here. What do you see that you like? I'll give like any kind of like 1v1 for players. Set a line. I'll take an over under. Be generous. I'll give you a gift because you need it at this point.
Oh, thanks. Your charity is much appreciated. could you be any cockier about it too? Like Jesus, like undefeated, 3-0. Like I'm just giving you all kind of softballs here. First couple.
Well, I tweeted out. You saw my tweet the other day when I tweeted like when the Warriors were versing the Mavs. And I tweeted out before the game.
Oh, like easy money, cash. Give me that log.
So I gotta make sure I'm taking anyone I can get at this point because that was probably the worst tweet of the year, century, and probably will be for a long time going forward too.
That's the thing about Twitter, man. Like it's a bad take for a day, and then people forget about it. Hopefully, but I mean, I'm tempted to go like with like a Giannis, LeBron, Harden thing. I don't know if that's something you want to do, or if you want to like look at like two guys that are priced the same. Like I honestly kind of forgot to get my beer bet stuff lined up ahead of time. Let me just look real quick. I'm just peeking through like prices and stuff.
We could always figure it out post show too.
That's true. Like we'll talk about it, and I'll post it tomorrow on the Twitter.
Yeah, be on the lookout on Twitter. We'll definitely have it out. Me and Dan will both tweet it out. It'll be for sure on the Wise Take Twitter. For a beer bet.
Yep. You want to do top threes quick?
Yeah, go into top three. Start us off.
Cool. All right. So as we typically do, I do FanDuel and you do DK, just so we have a little bit of variety here. On FanDuel, my top point guards are going to be Trae Young. Where is he? Frank Jackson. And for a third guy, God, there's a lot of guys on the slate. My third guy is going to be De'Aaron Fox.
I like Archie Diacono, Trae Young, and Frank Jackson too.
Nice. All right, shooting guard. Definitely gonna have some James Harden. I would say he's the top play. Luka is my number 2, and my third one is Lou Williams.
Going right back to the well with Jaylen Brown. Let's see. I'm gonna take some cheaper Chicago guys. I'll take Selden and Blakeney.
I just figured I'll come back to it. I just figured out the beer bet. It's a perfect beer bet. Wait till the end. You're gonna love it.
Oh, okay. All
right. So small forward. It's for me. It's LeBron. It's my top play. Then Giannis, only based on price and matchup. And then my third guy is gonna be, probably Miles Bridges.
Yeah, I got Miles Bridges, Hayward, and then Lance Stevenson.
Oh God, Lance! All right, power forward. I like John.
How do you miss that? Make it overtime in this Nets Portland game. 35 seconds left. Nurkic missed an easy layup, and now it's Nets ball up too.
God damn it! They're both smashing too, aren't they? Yep, Nurk and Dame. All right. So with power forward, I'm going Bagley, Collins, and my third guy is. I don't know if we'll go down to value here. No, I'll go back up. Probably Portis.
Yeah, I'll go Thomas Bryant, Markkanen, and LeBron.
Okay. Center, to me, it's Cat. Then I'll go Vooch as my second guy. And JaVale McGee, 3.
Center, Cat, JaVale McGee, and I don't think I mentioned it before, but I like Kevin Love in the spot, 7-6 against the Celtics too. I'll take Kevin Love as my third guy there.
Okay, all right. So here it is. This is the beer bet. Now you're gonna love this. I'm gonna let you take Jaylen Brown. Head to head with Gordon Hayward, and like everything in your bones is gonna tell you that you should take that bet. But you know that Gordon Hayward's going to outscore Jaylen Brown. So
yeah, of course. But I will gladly take the bet, knowing I will be rooting against Hayward.
Don't do anything crazy.
Happily take that.
Don't do anything crazy and like go all in on Jaylen like in your lineups. Like that one time you took Beal out of a bunch of lineups.
Yeah, Beal, that's what it was.
And I played him, and I was like, I was hoping I would lose because I played him and you took him out. But So there's your bet. Like if Jalen comes through, you will be 4-0. But otherwise, I'm riding the Gordon Hayward Express.
I like that one. I like it. All right, it's fair.
All right. Cool. Well, hey, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check us out here at Wise Take. We got day passes. We got baseball starting in 3 days, dude? How freaking excited are you for that?
Bro, I'm so excited for MLB. I'm so excited. I like the mini max for MLB. At least for opening day slate, it's gonna be $1 with the 150 max. So I like that. Everyone knows I like that MLB a lot. So I'm gonna have some fun. I'm already working on some lineups and everything like that. Quietly in the background, doing that a bunch. But
our Slack is going nuts with guys. Like, they're just chomping at the bit. Like, guys are just on Twitter today. We're sending me lineups. Like, hey man, what do you think of this lineup? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like this slate's in 3 days. Like, but people are going nuts for baseball. We're gonna have a ton of baseball coverage. We got a great baseball package. So, we love talking NBA here, but I know both of us are excited for baseball too. Oh wait,
yeah.
What happened? What happened in the game?
Lillard definitely didn't get the foul call. He should have, but Nets up 20 seconds left, 15 on the shot clock.
We need overtime.
Yeah, dude. Overtime would definitely do me great right now.
Did you play a lot of D'Angelo?
I have a ton of D'Lo, way over the field with him. Even with how chalky Nurkic and Lillard were both over the field with them.
They're both
Harkless.
Right now.
It was overtime, but looking impossible now at 3 seconds left in a 1-point game.
Great. All right, man. It was fun. It was a blast. I guess the next time we'll be on here, we'll be talking baseball. So, good show, brother.
Always, man. I love it. A lot of fun. Can't wait to talk some MLB next week.
All right. That's it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check out Wise Take. Peace.